Hey guys, what's going on? It's Friday here and it's week 8. So I would say we get another lineup in. I'm feeling pretty good about this lineup even though it's early in the week. It's hard to find value this week since there's a lot of price changes and also only 10 games in the slate, which will make it harder to get some players no one really has that have some great value. Okay, for quarterback, we take Aaron Rodgers. Second most expensive player this week, only Brady is $100 more. I don't like Brady this week. I think Aaron Rodgers is a great play against Atlanta. It's supposed to be the highest scoring game in the slate. Green Bay woke up again. I mean, the second half against Chicago was really good, and I think they will pick up right where they left. And I think Atlanta Green Bay will be an awesome game to watch. Two great offense going against each other, and I think Rodgers will be the guy to target this week. Okay, at running back, so that was pretty hard for me to pick good running backs this week. Number one is Spencer Ware. Jamal Charles was nearly out last week. He only had 2 snaps or something, or 2 carries or something like that. So Spencer Ware saw most of the workload last week. He will see the bigger part this week again. He won't see all of it, so Charles will probably take some snaps again, but he will see most of them. And I mean, Indianapolis Colts, Lamar Miller broke out against them, and DeMarco Murray had a decent game. He could have done better. I think Spencer Ware is a great play this week at 6,800. He's at a good price, not as good as last week, but I mean, still a great value for a running back that good. He also catches a lot of passes, so I really like him. The other running back will be a surprise since I don't really like. Where is he? What the heck? There he is. I usually pick running backs that catch passes just because of the PPR. And I mean, if you catch 6 passes for sure every week, that's a touchdown. That's like a normal running back getting a touchdown every week for sure. So I'd rather pick the pass catching backs, but this week there is a for sure touchdown for Blunt. I mean, 2 backs already had 3 touchdowns on the ground against Buffalo. They've seen the most touchdowns on ground, I think, going against them. Um, and I mean, as we saw the last 2 weeks, Blunt is the guy to handle goal line opportunities. He saw 4 touchdowns in the last 3 games. Um, he didn't see that much carries like he did last week, and he won't against Buffalo either. But Buffalo has a pretty good pass defense and a pretty good pass rush, so I think they will use Blunt a lot. And when it comes to goal line, Blunt's the guy, and you'll see maybe even 3 touchdowns this week, and that's great value at 5,300 with no other running backs I really like this week. For a wide receiver, we start off with Julio Jones. It's against Atlanta. It's against Green Bay. At home, Jones is a machine. He is nearly at 10,000 this week, so if he scores good again, he's gonna be higher priced than Antonio Brown was. But I mean, Green Bay is bad against first receivers. Julio Jones is the best first receiver available right now with Big Ben out and the Steelers on bye anyway, and he will see a huge game in my opinion. Yeah, there's just it's a no-brainer to play Julio Jones even at 9,600. To pay up for him, we have to find value somewhere else though, and that's where it gets tricky. It's Jermaine Curse. Okay, so it's Seattle playing in New Orleans. They will have to put up points. I mean, their defense is is one of the best in the game. I mean, everybody who watched the um, Cardinals game saw how the defense really. I mean, the offense was so bad. Holy crap! And the defense held them in the game the whole time, and they even had a chance to win. So I mean, um, the defense is doing really great, and the offense can really rely on them. This week it's in New Orleans though. I mean, Drew Brees at home is huge. He has huge numbers at home. I think over 30 fantasy points on average in the 3 home games he had so far. So yeah, I mean, it's I mean it's the guy I'll take a shot at this week. It's either him or Tyler Lockett. I like him better. He's going for more deep balls. They will have to throw some balls. New Orleans is really good against the first receiver. That's what most of the people don't really see. I mean, um, yeah, who was it? I mean, Carolina. Calvin Benjamin had a super bad game against New Orleans. He saw 14 targets or something. He only caught 7 or 8 of them with only 80 yards or something. I mean, that's bad for the huge workload he saw. And other players against New Orleans too. It's always the second or third receiver like Dontre Inman or someone like that who sees a huge game out of nowhere against New Orleans. And I think this week it's going to be Jermaine Curse. Last week I was pretty good about Cordell Patterson. This week he's not in the main slate. Too bad. Um, but this week I think Jermaine Curse is the one who could actually break out even better than Patterson did last week. And at 3,100, that's exactly the guy we were looking for to be able to afford Julio Jones and have the sneaky play no one has in a only 10 game slate this week. Okay, and the third wide receiver is gonna be another no-brainer. It's gonna be right here, T.Y. Montgomery. He's actually the running back for Green Bay. I mean, Niall Davis is gonna play some snaps probably and see maybe 10 carries or something. But the running game with Montgomery worked so well that I think Green Bay is gonna rely on it. Atlanta's a team to allow the second most targets to running backs in the league. It's 9.9 per game. That fits Green Bay's running game perfectly. I mean, Montgomery saw how many targets last week? 13 targets last week, and 12 the week before. And he even saw 9 rushes. That's 22 points without a touchdown. This week, I mean, he'll see huge workload. If they play the same system again, he will see 14 to 16 targets, short passes from Aaron Rodgers. So it's a great stack with Aaron Rodgers because you probably get the goal line work if he has something like three yards first and goal or something and they run it. T.Y. Montgomery will be the guy, so you will get the touchdown even though they don't throw it. And if they pass the ball on short passes to their running back, it's going to be Montgomery again, and Rodgers will get the same points. So, I mean, it's a great stack because he only rushes 10 times or something, and you will get all the points he gets from short passes from Rodgers, but you will also get the points if they run the ball in, and that's huge for a wide receiver at only 5,300. Okay, at tight end, I'm going pretty cheap this week, and it's gonna be CJ Fedorowicz. Detroit is so bad against tight ends. Holy crap. I mean, 2,800. This is Fedorowicz. If you watch the game against Denver, I mean, Brook Osweiler was so bad. Oh, holy crap. I don't like him at all, but he targeted Fedorowicz quite a bit, and short passes. Detroit is super bad against short passes, especially to the tight end. Fedorowicz is the guy for Houston. I think it could be actually a pretty high scoring game, and Fedorowicz will be the guy to go to. I mean, Detroit allowed a touchdown to 5 of the 7 tight ends they played, or something like that. That's just ridiculous numbers. And I mean, at 2,800, if he catches a touchdown and gets like 6 catches or something, I mean, there's nothing better you can ask for. Okay, at flex, we got another Green Bay wide receiver, and that's gonna be, where is he? 5, 6. The crap, where is he? Oh, 6'4", is he? Okay, Randall Cobb. Okay. Atlanta, as well as New Orleans, is very good against the first wide receiver. They have Trufant, and I mean, he put up. He's such a great cornerback. He's a shadow cornerback, so he goes with the number one guy the whole game and just shuts him down. He shut people down. I talked about it last week, I think already, and that's why I thought to stay off of Tyrell Williams, but he actually was on Benjamin quite a bit too, so that's why Williams was able to put up the numbers. Jordy Nelson won't be able to put up the numbers this week though, and with Randall Cobb, I mean, Devontae Adams had a huge game last week. I don't think he's gonna do it again. Where is he? Just to look at the game he had last week. Holy crap, he had 16 targets, caught 13 of them, 2 touchdowns, 41 points. It came out of not nowhere, but I mean, 41 points is nothing you will ever expect from a guy like Adams. But he won't do it again this week. And Randall Cobb and T.Y. Montgomery will be the 2 guys to go to. Randall Cobb is a second receiver who has one of the best spots against Atlanta, who are very good against the first receiver but bad against the second. And T.Y. Montgomery, as I explained. Okay, and for defense, we are gonna take the Houston Texans. You could pick the Eagles against Dallas, but I mean, it's Dallas offense line, and it's Dak Prescott. I don't think he really throws interceptions ever until maybe he has a game like Carson Wentz last week, but I think Houston's a better play. Detroit is very bad against the pass rush. Houston has a pretty good pass rush. They will put a lot of pressure on Matthew Stafford and even get some interceptions maybe. Stafford is a pretty good quarterback. I like him a lot, but if he has too much pressure, he won't be able to handle it for too long. And with a maybe high scoring game, there's a lot of throwing involved, and Houston will be the one leading. So I think there's a great value at the Texans defense. Other opinions, because I mean, I'm not too sure about defense every week. That's a hard pick for me. As I said, you could go to the Eagles or to the Seahawks. I don't like the Seahawks going against New Orleans. I mean, I expect Drew Brees to have a at least 20-point game again this week, and he's just too great of a quarterback to really throw interceptions or anything. But the other thing you could look for is Carolina Panthers going against Arizona. I mean, it's the Panthers. They're super bad defense, but it's Arizona, and most of their receivers are banged up, so there's a shot maybe there, but I'm gonna go with the Texans this week. Okay, thank you very much, guys. Um, as last week, I'm gonna upload some more videos later, talking about guys I do like and guys I don't like this week. I hope we have a better week this week. Score more than 160 points. That was the amount last week, I think. And see you out there.